Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of UnrealEntGaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
What an extremely unexpected turn of events. And to think that Broly, the warrior of unparalleled rage, would push himself to such extraordinary heights against Universe 18's fearsome god of destruction Primos is simply amazing. For I must admit, even I, someone who has seen countless battles and witnessed the rise of many great warriors over the eons, am taken back by the sheer magnitude of this confrontation. But, one must wonder, will this newfound power be enough to finally put an end to the ruthless reign of Lord Primos? Or is it merely a fleeting spark that will be extinguished under the overwhelming weight of Lord Primos' power in the end?
As our story now continues following the initial events within Universe 18, involving both Universe 18's God of Destruction alongside Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Broly, who was immobilized, as it was only despite with the ruthless Alpha Destroyer being shown having to stand across Goku and Vegeta as Gohan made his way towards the others, was when Goku then went on to quickly respond, "Vegeta, this power of his, it's completely overwhelming. Gohan's aura is so intense, I can hardly even believe my eyes," Goku says, as he said that he was training alongside with Lord Beerus, but I never imagined that he'd ever go and reach a level like this, and so just what kind of training did those two undergo, Goku questions. Was this the very power that you think that Gohan was hinting at all the way from before, with Vegeta responding, "But how exactly was it that he even went as far as to achieve this? For this must be the power that he went on to discover during his training with Lord Beerus, and so just go and take a look into his eyes, Kakarot, for there appears to be something that is drastically different about him, and this power he's wielding is also something that feels far stronger than even our Ultra forms from the looks of it. But even then, if that is the case, then how? How did he go on to achieve this?" With Goku responding, "Well, whatever it was that he did, let's just go and hope that he's still on our side here, Vegeta, but hey there, Gohan, are you alright? Well, I can see you making eye contact, so at least we know that you're still on our side with this one, but this is unbelievable. You insolent little worms, how dare you interfere in my business and ruin the fun that I was having at the expense of your ally? For I was reveling in his destruction and relishing every moment of his suffering until the two of you decided to jump right in, along with what appears to be the strongest member among your tribe, who ironically had went and garnered my attention through his momentary power increase, and so now you mortals have went and done it. Alright, I've heard all that I could possibly stand to hear from these gods of destruction here today, and so what do you say?" Vegeta went on to then quickly question. "Let's hurry and go and shut that big fat mouth of his and be done with this already, Kakarot," with Gohan then having to respond, "Easy now, God of Destruction, because with the way things are looking for you, I'd say that now with the odds stacked within our favor, it'll be far easier for you to just go and call this off now before things start to get a little messy for you, Gohan says. And so I want you to go and think about this because it'll be better if we all just took a moment to calm down. Otherwise, it won't end well for you if you continue to push us like this. But then, it was only just upon with Primals not letting up whatsoever, but instead having to call out Goku and Vegeta to battle as Goku and Vegeta went on to then dash right towards him was when Primals then went on to respond. The only ones who are going to be left messy here are going to be the four of you, and while I dare for the both of you to try and attack me if you think that you have what it takes to be successful enough in hurting me, then by all means try, because it was like I said when you first had gotten here, Primals went on to then duck on under by avoiding their attacks. Even if you think that there is the smallest possible chance of survival here against me, then you'd be very wrong to know that while you're trapped within this universe with me as your opponents, then there will be no surviving the pain that awaits you both. And while I don't quite care enough to deal with either one of you just yet, since there are bigger fish to fry here, you two will be last while I go and make an example out of the other two first. And so now know your place and stay out of my way. And so now with those little worms out of my way, it's time that I go and bulldoze right through you next, so that way I may go and finish what was already started with Brolys, since he is the one whom I am mainly after, Saiyan. Alright, well so be it then, Ultimate Beast Gohan responds upon having to see Destroyer Primos make his way right towards him. But just so you know, you aren't going to be the first God of Destruction to go and try to break me in a battle, and although that you just might be the toughest among them to go and try, there was actually one God of Destruction who I know is the strongest to go and test me, Gohan continues. And if I was able to go and hang in there against him, then I know that I am able to hang in there against you, Lord Primos. That much I can tell you, even if you force me to try and go all out against you, but I'm the least of your worries at the moment here because you have much bigger problems to deal with here, Destroyer. And just what exactly are you yapping about, you puny little insect? What are you talking about? Which of those other lousy gods of destruction are you alluding to? For I don't buy it. But even now, how are you just able to go and block off my attack like this without sustaining the slightest amount of damage? What is this? Because I know that you are up to something, Saiyan, because there is no way that you are this overconfident for absolutely no reason. And so quit wasting my time if you aren't going to go and fight me, and either get over here and engage yourself against me or just stay out of my way. But even then, with Ultimate Beast Gohan being shown having to effortlessly avoid Primos' grab upon Gohan also now being shown having to address Broly, was when Gohan then went on to respond. Broly, you have to listen to me, for I know that the power that lies deep within you may feel like an overwhelming force of nature that is far beyond your control, but you have to go and try and fight the urge and allowing for the monster that lies within to control you and be the one who is in full control of the monster instead. For I know that you feel it, Broly, that rage and that overwhelming power that's trying to tear its way right out of you, but in the end, you can't let it win. You've come way too far and have trained way too hard to let it slip right through your fingers, and so now all you have to do is focus your strength and use it as your greatest weapon in capturing this in order for the fire to continue to burn deep within your very spirit. And so that is why you have to be the one to ignite the flames that will guide you into furthering your evolution, Broly. And what are you possibly talking about here, Saiyan? Why are you so fixated on trying to encourage that mortal to continue to go and try to wage war and partake in fighting a losing battle? Wait a second. That energy that I sense, Primos then went on to stop by turning around. Surely this can't be coming from Broly because he was already all out of power while I left him where he was. Unless... Yes, but it is. To which as Broly then began to ignite his power by powering up was when Gohan went on to then chime back in. Now I know that you know that this isn't who you are, Broly. You are not just a weapon, nor are you a slave to your own rage. And so because of this, you are a Saiyan with the power to create great change, and and one that will control your destiny if you simply find the strength to master your anger. And so if I was able to go and do it, then I know that you can too. As Goku then went on to quickly chime back in, incredible, for I just can't seem to believe it, because even though we always knew that Broly was abnormally powerful and had always possessed tremendous amounts of potential to become the strongest that he could possibly be, even when going as far as to surpass me and Vegeta in certain cases here, but I just didn't honestly think that he would even go as far as to have this much power that lied deep within his very spirit like this. But even now, how is Gohan so sure that he could go and pull it off, Goku questions? For how could Gohan know for a fact that Broly has what it takes to overcome this? Is it because of Gohan's own experiences when dealing with such things, Goku continues? Or is there something more that Gohan can see deep within Broly that me and Vegeta just can't? But even then, this is just amazing. As Gohan then went on to continue, I can see the storm that is brewing within you that is trying to escape, but you have to continue to fight for control no matter how overwhelming it may seem. For I was there too, Broly. I was right there exactly where you are now, but you can't let it win. For my father and Vegeta have shared many stories of the original legendary Super Saiyan who was said to have possessed an incredible battle power that stood without a rival in its glory days. And after seeing what you are capable of along with the strength that you possess, Gohan continues, I have no doubt in my mind and in my heart that you are the one. That you are the warrior who embodies that very legendary Super Saiyan, Broly. And because I know that you are the one, release yourself from being a slave to your own power and go and set yourself free. Just remember what my dad and Vegeta had given you in order for you to become the best that you could possibly be, Broly. Broly then went on to then power up even more by igniting his power onto the surface. Remember how they trained you along with everything that you've learned while being around them, Broly, which also includes all of the experiences that you've shared when dealing with these resurrected gods of destruction, Broly. So just try and remember. What did that little worm just go out of his way to say? The legendary Super Saiyan, huh? And just what kind of nonsense is that mortal even talking about? But then, it was only just then, shockingly enough, from out of nowhere, with both Beerus and Whis then shown having to make their arrival within Universe 18, was when Whis went on to then chime back in. And there we are now, for I knew that we should have just gone into Universe 18 instead of having to go into Universe 17 when we did. For we also could have went as far as to save a lot of time while doing so, but nevertheless, it looks as though we are just in time for all of the action, it would seem, with Beerus responding, well, I wanted to go and make sure, since I wasn't expecting for them to be in this universe of all places when considering on which destroyer oversees it, but what's going on here, Whis? That energy, is that coming from one of the Saiyans? Now, surely this must be coming from Gohan now, is it? Unless, wait a second, that's not Gohan, Beerus continues. No, but of course, this power seems to be coming from that savage Saiyan Broly. How very interesting. And so what do you make of what is taking place here, Whis? With Whis responding, goodness, well, I'm honestly not quite sure on what exactly is shown having to take place here, but, well, if I had to go and take a guess as to why Broly appears to be changing with his power flaring as high as it currently is, then I would only go as far as to assume that similar to how Gohan was shown having to master and evolve his beast form by having him control his emotions against you, and I think the same thing appears to be taking place here, only with Gohan serving as the voice within the fire that Broly here finds himself in, so that way he may go and guide Broly to where he needs to be in having him do what Gohan did, and that is master his powers completely while also evolving them as well, my lord. Yes, that's it, Broly. You have to remember as to who you are and fight for the life that you have earned the right to live. And so now fight! Fight to become the warrior that you were always meant to become without the limits of being tied down by your own anger. As Primos then went on to chime in, oh, how pathetic. For this is but a waste of my time because the mortal is going to end up destroying himself before he ever lives to see the day where he can finally get that power under his own control, and so he's doomed. You are far stronger than you know, Broly. I was there, Gohan continues. I was in your shoes when I had to battle the monster within as well. And so I know what it feels like to have your back against the wall, but this is why you have to break through and walk through that fire. And so now become the warrior that you were always meant to be and show that god of destruction on why us Saiyans can never be beaten, Gohan continues. Now go and use what my father and Vegeta have taught you to ignite the fire from within and become the master of your own destiny, Broly. To which that was exactly what Broly ended up doing, because with Broly now having to find the power within himself to ignite the fire within, in blasting right through his shell as he went on to erupt and visually now having to change, was when Beerus went on to then chime back in. Well, would you go and take a look at that, Whis? For it would seem as though Gohan is guiding Broly by using his own experience as leverage to position Broly on where he ought to be. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? With Whis responding, well, I would say so, yes, and with what we're seeing now beginning to unfold beneath the surface, Whis adds, and I think all that Broly needs now is one last push to get him to finally burst through, because with his mind beginning to awaken behind that powerful aura of his, I think it's safe to say that it is finally now time that we get the chance to truly see on what Broly's full and, dare I even say, mastered Super Saiyan powers are truly like on the battlefield. And so all that he truly needs as of right now is one more push. This is your one and only chance, and so it's now or never to change the course of your destiny forever, Broly. And so now let it all go and unleash everything. To which that was exactly what Broly ended up doing, because with the gigantic burst of energy now shown having to destroy the entire landscape as the others went on to look on in absolute horror, was when Goku then went on to quickly chime in. Oh, this is insane! He'll destroy the entire universe if he doesn't find a way to stop this, or at least try to control it, because if he doesn't, well then we're all going to be goners too! But then, it was only just then suddenly from out of nowhere, as a massive barrier went on to engulf Vegeta, Beerus, Goku, and Vegeta, was when Goku then went on to continue. Hey, just wait, it's you, Whis. Oh boy, am I glad to see both you and Lord Beerus here right now. Well, good thing that I'm here to help save you two from being obliterated out there, now aren't I? Whis went on to then create a barrier by quickly having to save Goku and Vegeta by responding. But I wouldn't have to go and worry about the universe being destroyed, Whis adds, because I want you all to go and look very closely, for it would only now appear as though he was finally able to do it, and with what I am able to see, he was able to do it in perfect succession as well. Enough with this pointless light show and come on out and show me what you've achieved, Saiyan, Primos went on to then quickly shout, for I am not afraid of anything that you go and do, and so now reveal yourself to me right now. To which as Broly was then shown having to do so, because it was only seconds after with the smoke having to dissipate as Broly was shown standing within the middle of a crater by having to be shown looking at his hand, was when Goku then went on to quickly respond, I can't believe it, Vegeta, are you seeing that? Broly's power, it's unlike anything that I've ever seen, for I've never felt anything like it, with the only exception being Gohan's new transformation. But now that he's found a new way to master his berserker powers, what do you think that's going to mean for us now? With Vegeta quickly responding, What is this power, Kakarot? As it's beyond anything that I've ever imagined, as this isn't just any ordinary transformation, for this must be something more, something primal, Vegeta continues, for it's as if the tale of the legendary Super Saiyan had just come to life right before our very eyes. But does Broly even have full control over it, or are we about to go and witness that rage just go and destroy us all? With Whis responding, well, isn't this just remarkable, for it would seem as though the tales of old were not merely legends or old stories after all, Whis says, for Broly has indeed harnessed and appears to have mastered his full power in manifesting it into a form that can only be reflective through your ancient stories, for it looks like the legendary Super Saiyan has finally returned, only this time its modern successor by title appears to come from none other than Broly. Wait, so if this is true, Vegeta adds, and Broly's power is now reflective to that of the legendary Super Saiyan, then, well, if you're going to ask on whether or not Broly is stronger than the two of you, then the obvious answer to that question is yes, Beerus went on to then chime in, since it would only still appear as though you both seem to be struggling in mastering your Ultra forms, let alone evolving them, but perhaps maybe this was always meant to be, with Gohan now being shown having to clap by responding, "Now this is what I'm talking about, just look at you, just take a look at what you've become, I knew that you could do it, Broly." Do what, Saiyan? A mere power increase doesn't change the fact that he still stands before the most dangerous god of destruction among them all, Primos went on to then quickly respond. And so why exactly do you think that this changes anything? For the outcome will still remain the same no matter how strong this Saiyan gets. And so now again, I ask you, puny man, why should I go and take him any more serious than how I was shown taking this mortal before? Answer me now, with Gohan responding, and you honestly think that Broly is the same as he was before? Because if you do, then you couldn't be any more wrong, and especially not as of right now with the way he currently is. And guess what else, Primos, Gohan went on to question. Broly has actually been paying very close attention whether you or anyone else has realized this or not, God of Destruction, for he's been taking everything in and now stands before you as a warrior who has not only mastered his berserker powers like I have, but for someone who has also developed a level of determination and focus that even you will find hard to break this time around, Destroyer. For he is no longer the same uncontrolled monster that you were shown having to fight against before, but instead, Gohan continues, with his mind cleared and his spirit lifted, Broly has went on to absorb everything, every lesson, every battle, every encounter, and every bit of punishment has been engraved within his very soul as he now stands before you as a warrior who has not only mastered his legendary power, but as someone who has honed his mind and his determination into now bringing him into the peak of where he rightfully belongs. And to further add on to this, due to the fact that you were one of the ones who had helped push Broly into reaching such points in his life right now, you could rest assured that I have no doubt in my mind that he is going to push you harder and much farther than anyone has ever pushed you before, as you're about to go and find out firsthand by going as far as to experience that for yourself, Gohan says. Is that so? Well, yes, for there it finally is, Primos went on to then chime in before having to be shown clutching his fist. And so this was exactly what it was that I was talking about when I was hoping to see what you were truly hiding from me throughout our battle. And so I've gotta give it to you and admit that it doesn't look like you've disappointed me either. However, Saiyan, just because you were finally able to get a grip and awaken your true power and draw it out on the surface doesn't mean that you've won, not by a long shot, Primal Warrior. And while I'm eager now to see on what exactly had changed when compared to what it was that I saw come from you in our previous battle from before, this just in fact might be worth my time after all. And while you stand there ready to face me for what I will promise you will be for the very last time, Primos continues, I will look to finally put an end to this nonsense by crushing you at your absolute strongest. Ironically enough, right before your very own God of Destruction, who just so happens to be watching. And so consider this to be your final moments while being alive, because I'll make sure that once I go and get my hands on you, that you will never have the honors to ever go and look me face to face like this ever again, mortal. And so now prepare to face a punishment unlike any other that you have ever went and experienced before, as from here on, I am going to crush you. As Goku went on to then turn towards Vegeta by then responding, Vegeta, do you realize as to what this means? For we might actually be in a situation where both Broly and even Gohan might actually be stronger than us now, even while in our Ultra forms. Oh, brilliant observation, Kakarot. Of course Broly and Gohan are stronger now, Vegeta went on to then quickly respond. And why wouldn't they be? Because while they've been pushing their limits and finding new ways to tap into new levels of power, what have we been doing, Kakarot? Oh, that's right. We've been too busy wasting our time in dealing with these so-called resurrected gods of destruction instead of going out of our own way to go and evolve ourselves. Because even despite when having to look into an alternate timeline where I had mastered my ultra ego form, Vegeta continues, it still doesn't go and change the fact that I have yet to do anything going to go and master that power here and now, Kakarot. Well, now that my job here is finally done, if you were truly looking to finish your fight with Broly, well then by all means, be my guest because he's all yours to take from here on, God of Destruction. As if any of this even matters to begin with, Primos went on to then turn towards Gohan by responding, but once I'm done putting that savage right back in his place where he belongs, understand that you're next, boy. And don't think that you can run away either, because wherever it is that you go, I am going to. But then, it was only suddenly from out of nowhere, before Primos even had the opportunity to address Gohan by finishing his sentence, was when Master Legendary Super Saiyan Broly had gone as far as to speed blitz right behind Primos by then responding, you know, I would much rather go and redirect your attention elsewhere here if I were you, because you've went and made a very grave mistake, Destroyer. Because while you've been demanding to see what I'm truly capable of this entire time, you're about to go and get far more than you've been bargaining for, Destroyer. And by pushing me this far, you've just awakened something far more dangerous than you could possibly have imagined for any mortal to go and do. And now that the monster that had been slumbering within me has been fully controlled, and with my anger and power fully stabilized and merged into one, I am going to go and give you exactly what you've been asking for, since it was primal warfare that you had been longing for since the very beginning, Broly continues. Because while you've spent your existence boasting about your status as being the Alpha God of Destruction with no equals among both mortals or destroyers, Broly continues, I am just moments away from making you eat your words, Primos, as both your title and your power are about to go and be tested, the likes of which you have never been shown be tested by any other mortal before. So this will all fall on your head when this is all over, and so that much I want you to go and keep in mind, because now that you know exactly what it is that you are in for, since I will be holding nothing back against you in this battle, Broly says, let this be our final encounter and the last time that you ever treat me the way you had went and treated me, because after everything that it was that you had said and all that you have done which had now led to this, I am going to break you, God of Destruction. As it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Resurrected Fallen Gods of Destruction, the Universe 18 Saga, Manga Chapter number 6 semi-finale, then comes to a close.
Well, actually, I'll go ahead and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something very important with our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing, because not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the manga content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way that range from a variety of different things, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link everything down within the description box below and pinned comment section as well. Now I will go as far as to say that not only am I extremely proud to not only have the chance to witness Broly finally control his inner rage and evolve himself into a far more powerful fighter, but to see Broly finally stand ready to face off against one of the most ruthless and savage gods of destruction among them all in Lord Primos. One can only wonder on if Broly is truly ready to go through with this and finally put a stop to the Alpha Destroyer's reign over our heroes or not. And so, you do not want to miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video, as before you leave, do make sure to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as subscribing to UnrealEntGaming's channel in case you are new around here. We thank you all for watching and hope you all have a wonderful day, everyone, as we'll see you all in the next one.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to UnrealEntGaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi.
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.